lucky me.
So, but let's get into the main topics. So the first one we're gonna talk about is this AC Infinity, this Assassin's Creed Infinity. It seems like they keep throwing this damn name around, and I had that question for you earlier this week. Like, what the hell do they mean by this Fortnite like?
I know.
Right? We've seen like a couple articles, and they keep mentioning like Fortnite like, and it's like I'm thinking like this Fortnite couldn't have possibly come up with this, this ever changing world. I mean, you have MMOs that do that. Destiny has done that.
I know.
Like you
That's
had
how
mentioned,
I understand
World
it.
of Warcraft has
Yeah.
constantly changed their world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So this isn't new. But I don't. I mean, I guess it's like it's just another version. I don't know. Maybe that's because some of the new people in gaming can only compare it to Fortnite or something like that. But I'm not signing with that shit. Basically, this is like Assassin's Creed Infinity, from what I've gleaned, and Ray, you can add on to this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's basically going to be this world now where it's constantly changing, that there'll be things added onto it, a live subscription type of thing, maybe. I'm hoping it's not something you have to pay for. But it could be something like that, or just, they make their money like they do with Valhalla, with selling skins and stuff like that, but they're constantly adding things to the game, adding more and more stuff, adding different worlds.
Right.
But it seems like with the title AC Infinity, it almost seems as if this would be like the last Assassin's Creed game, right?
Yeah, that's how I interpret this. Like, this sounds like we're done. This is it. This is for all
They'll
eternity.
just forever expound
This is
on
it
this.
now. Kind of like Call of Duty Warzone. Like, we're done. We're no longer adding new single player experiences, standalone single player experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what saddens me, because that's what I've always loved Assassin's Creed's for. I've always looked forward to playing the new Assassin's Creed in the new world that they've created. In a single player story setting,
Mm-hmm.
just like Far Cry 2. Like, I've always enjoyed Ubisoft games because they've always been those single player AAA titles that I look forward to. And so this sounds like that's out the window now, and they're just going to be having one Assassin's Creed, and they'll just add things to it. Like, the reason why I worry is because I don't know the scope of those additions. I don't know if they're going to be just like, here's an additional city, or is it going to be, here's a whole new continent, like AC Valhalla is, right? Is that what I'm going to get? Like, what am I going to get here?
So, I was watching a video of a guy talking about it. I can't remember his name. The dude's name. But anyways, when I was looking at the Assassin's Creed Infinity and hearing the information and stuff like that, this guy was kind of echoing the same thoughts that was in my head. It seems like Assassin's Creed Infinity could be like a glorious thing. Like, it could be everything we would want in an Assassin's Creed and more. Just for the simple fact that, like, okay, what if, like, this is speculation because we don't know what it is yet. But what if Assassin's Creed Infinity is like your own character that you get to edit and create unique to you, and then you have an animus that you go into, and then it's like the central hub where you're able to jump to any of the times that are available, and then you would take over a character from that timeline, or you would be a character in that timeline, and then you would be able to run. So, like, maybe they got a Black Flag timeline, maybe they got an Odyssey type timeline, maybe they have a Primal timeline or something like that, but maybe they have like all these other options, and they're just going to keep adding new timelines that you could jump into.
I do think
and then you can hop in and out.
I do think that's how it will be, because that's what they said. It's going to have different timelines, different eras to explore. What I'm saying is the scope of each one of those experiences.
You don't think they'll take their time with them?
I don't think they're going to be as big. I don't think they're going to be as large as all of Egypt, right? Or all the Grecian islands that we got to explore. I think they'll be there. You'll have those experiences, the ship battles, probably pirate, probably all these things that I like. But I don't know if they're going to be the big epics. I don't know if each one of those things are going to be the big epics that I've known to come to love with Assassin's Creed. I just don't know, you know? And how does progress look? Yeah, am I going to just level up for eternity? Like, am I just going to have a level 10,000 character 10 years from now? You know, like, how does that look? Am I just jumping in for a new experience? Because, you know, when a new Assassin's Creed game comes out, you're collecting all new loot, you're re-leveling up, you're finding new sets of gear that you didn't have before. But in this, if I'm having the same character, I don't know how I would feel about, like, okay, I have this set of gear in that world and this set of gear in this world. That's kind of different. That's odd. Maybe I won't care. But I'm just saying that's another thing that's different than what I'm not accustomed to with Assassin's Creed games. And so I just don't necessarily know how this is going to look. Far Cry seems more like the game to me that would go in the more Fortnite, GTA Online direction, because it's like an open world where other people can, because it's I think it's more conducive to multiplayer than because that's what makes Fortnite successful. That's what makes, because they mentioned here in the article, this is inspired by the smash hits of Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto Online. And what makes those games special? Well, really the large part about those games that are special is the online aspect of them.
Right.
Everyone's playing in the same world, and you can, like, mess around with people, join people, help people, fight people, other people. Where Assassin's Creed has only ever been a single player game. I mean, they had they had one intro into the series, Assassin's Creed Unity, where they let you play with friends and other people. That was the only time they did that, and they dropped it quick.
I thought that was Brotherhood. Which one was Brotherhood?
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I don't even know Brotherhood. I do know Assassin's Creed Unity, though, was multiplayer.
Okay.
Brotherhood, I think, is just like one of the entries into the series.
Yeah, Brotherhood was multiplayer.
Yeah, was it multiplayer? Well, Assassin's Creed Unity was also, that was one of the big selling points on Assassin's Creed Unity. I don't even remember Brotherhood. How old is that one? Like, what is that one?
Brotherhood was in 2010.
Yeah. So that's.
But I do remember that one being where you were playing with like 4 other assassins online and whatnot. I don't remember Unity.
Type Assassin's Creed Unity. In Assassin's Creed Unity, they had like all the assassins in the different color outfits. Like one was blue, one was green.
Okay, yeah, group thing.
I remember watching that at E3, watching them play with all the other assassins.
That was in 2014.
Yeah, I actually really liked Unity. Unity was not well received by critics and the audience, but I actually really, really liked Unity. I liked the world. I liked Paris, exploring all that. I thought it was like really neat. It was super dense. It was the first time they had like extremely dense populated cities. So there was like tons and tons of NPCs in the world.
Okay.
And so I thought that was really neat and cool. So I like
they've
Unity.
already done it with 2 games. So.
Yeah, but it's not the MO of Assassin's Creed, man. It's not their MO. They've slipped it in and tried it, but it's never been the standard MO of Assassin's Creed.
No.
Because every game after Unity, every single one of them has been single player.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to figure it out, right? So they started it with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and it didn't work out. And then they tried it again with Unity.
And it didn't work out.
A little bit better, but it still didn't work out. So maybe they're just trying to like give it a third go. Because, I mean, they put like 2 games out, right? 2 Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, out of like 10.
Right?
No,
like
they've put
more. Origins.
No, they did Syndicate.
Valhalla.
Syndicate came after Unity.
Okay.
Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, 4, and all of those were single player games.
Yeah. So, I mean, we already know that that's what they do.
That's what I'm saying.
But
that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying they've been trying to sneak this multiplayer in here, and I think that maybe that's just them trying to figure out how they can get it to work.
They gave no indication that this would be multiplayer. So I don't know that this will be multiplayer.
Yeah.
We don't
know anything about this.
I'm just saying that in my mind, if there was going to be a franchise that would switch to this whole Fortnite Grand Theft Auto model, I would think it would be Far Cry.
Okay.
I think that would be more conducive to that switch, is what I'm saying. I think Assassin's Creed is a little odd of a choice to switch over to the online multiplayer. copying an online multiplayer game. If you're going to copy something, well, the closest thing to Grand Theft Auto is Far Cry, right? You're driving around in cars and you're shooting people. Yeah, it's more explosive, it's more mayhem than GTA, but it's the closest thing to GTA that Ubisoft kind of makes.
I hear you.
You know, and so I thought it was just a little weird choosing Assassin's Creed to be, you know, the game that they decide. Maybe they'll make Far Cry that way too. Maybe they'll make all their games this way.
I mean, we did hear that they wanted to change their stuff to start doing this this constant updating motto. You know, maybe just like a couple of games and just keep updating them bitches. But,
yeah, I don't like those. I'm not a big fan of that. I know that's what's popular right now, but I've always been just a fan of a new release single player experience standalone. That's what I've always enjoyed. I mean, I've never wished for it. I never wished for my games to be anything more than that. I've never thought, well, I really wish this was a gaming as a service game where they just keep adding on a pack. I've never felt that way.
I might have
about my
wished that
games.
Black Flag had a little multiplayer on in there. To
Just
get
yeah, just a
get my
feature
friend to,
for
like,
you and
come
I
on
to
a
play.
boat and, and be out there, you know, slaying ships and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know,
I
nonstop,
think,
you know,
or with
just to add it
Fallout,
in or
I've
something.
always wanted some of my games to have an option for me to play with friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that I wished it was a gaming as a service game, that I wished every game was Destiny, that I wished every game was Fortnite. I've never felt that I wanted that, you know?
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't needed. You know, the Assassin's Creed is like a story. You know,
Right.
you're following
That's
the story
right,
of a person,
yeah.
and that's it.
That's what I've
Not
always
everybody
felt
can
like.
follow the same story in the same world. I feel like those are the lame ones. You know, like you know, like the storylines for like Destiny or what is it, Outriders or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? Oh, you're the last hope. You're, you know, the only one. You're the last sole survivor, or whatever. But this is a multiplayer game, man. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Say there's a squad of you, and you know, and
Well,
and
the
make
thing
it like
is,
that. Like,
the reason why those games, I agree, why those games always have super shallow stories is largely because you're playing with your friends. When I'm playing Destiny, I'm chatting with you. I'm not listening to the story. Like, I'm chatting
Right.
with you. I'm talking with you.
definitely
The
in
story
Outriders,
is
you skip
yeah.
the
The
scenes
story is second rate. You know, like that's second on my list. I'm more worried about talking and chatting with my friends. You know, and so I think it's partly shallow on purpose for those reasons because they're trying to get a story through to somebody who's distracted. Yeah, they're trying to get a story through to someone who's distracted. Where you're playing The Last of Us, your attention is entirely on the game. There isn't anyone else there pulling your attention away.
Yeah.
You know, and so I like those. I like, you know, in a sense, I like multiplayer games, but I also like my standalone, single player driven story experiences, and that's what I've always loved Ubisoft for. Ubisoft has always been that, and seeing them change direction may be better for their product line, their money, but it may not be what I like in the sense that, you know, I might stick with them or not. I don't know. I have to see more. I'm not writing off Infinity.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit, wow, this is a little strange. I don't know how I feel about this direction.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll hear more about Assassin's Creed Infinity you know, soon or in the next coming months or whatever, just to give us a better idea of what we should be expecting in this next part of the Assassin's Creed franchise. Hopefully they aren't done with the regular single player epic stories like you were saying. But if they are, hopefully they make it versatile enough that you could get that feeling. You know what I mean? When you play Infinity, even though there's, you know, different timelines you can go in. Like, you know, maybe you can go in a Valhalla timeline and it's a game that's the size of Valhalla damn near. You know, or at least a city or something like
Maybe.
that. Like
The only
map or
reason
something.
why I think it won't be is only because if that was the case, it's going to take a lot of years to build a game like that. Like, it's going to take a couple years, in my opinion, to build a world like Odyssey.
You could probably
Those are big worlds.
You could probably take the world and everything that's been in there from the games and put them in this game to save you time, and then you just create a story around it. That would probably be what would take the longest, right?
Oh,
If you had like some of
what
the
they've
mythic
already
stuff,
built, yeah.
and everything in the world, you already remember it, but it's a different storyline in that world now.
Yeah, but what if we ever want like Watch Dogs, like a modern country? They haven't built that game yet, so they'd be building that from the ground up, and I would want that to be as epic as Odyssey was. I
Yeah.
want a big sprawling city, you know, and I worry like So if that's the case, if they go that route and they give us a big epic
Mhm.
on this as an attachment, a bolt-on,
Several different ones.
to this Infinity, then I would just think, well, then why not just release single-player games? Because it's going to take you years in between these big, massive epics anyways. You're just using this as a hub, and then what are you going to charge me? $60 every time I want to, depending on how big the game is. My mind is like, they'll charge me $20 for an expansion, and it'll be some watered-down version of the Grecian islands, just to give me new content quickly,
Yeah, but maybe they'd make their money back by all of the in-game stuff, and you don't have to worry about like shipping anything out or anything like that. Maybe there's other fees that are involved with the discs and all of that stuff, and creating a digital thing when all you got to do is upload it to the server and it's live or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested to see what they're gonna do with this and how
too.
it's gonna go.
It's a beloved franchise, man.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
one of those classics. Like you don't really gotta know too much about it to just buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, like we said, there was Brotherhood and like Unity and whatnot, and I didn't really Syndicate was okay for me. I didn't really care
it
for
wasn't
Syndicate
as
that
great.
much.
Yeah.
But so they have some hit or misses.
Sure.
But majority of them are hits.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Absolutely.